Okay, I'm starting the recording now. All right, I did all. Okay, everybody. I did all my announcements. I did all the stuff for the one shot for 400, for our Patreon at 50 and 100 for the giveaways. I did all of that. I announced all those things, and then I looked at the screen. And I'm like, I'm not recording. So there we go. So
Perfect.
now we're recording. Now we're recording.
We didn't get the spiel. We didn't get the THX sound effect.
Mwah, mwah. All right. Dagnabbit.
Yeah. All right.
Let's just get in this. How about that? So, picture, if you will, you are staring at a. You guys kind of come into this, and a screen kind of opens up. The eyes of you might open up, and you're looking at a radio, an old radio that kind of flickers to life and starts playing Arkansas Blues, which you will recognize from our intro. As it slowly backs away from the sound of Arkansas Blues in this lovely pre-war home. This home with wallpaper that has both it's white with beautiful pretty little white and blue, and not white flowers, but blue and yellow flowers in a pattern along the walls on the wallpaper, half up with wood, and it backs away more slowly and more slowly, and as some of the windows come into view, this home seems to be revealed more of what it is. As you look out the windows, there is not the pristine yard that you would expect from a lovely looking pre-war home. Instead, you see the wasteland before you. Ruined buildings of varying degrees of gray and brown, and a very red clay-like brown. And that rusty tint seems to cover most everything that's around you in this wasteland. And as the wind blows and the song finishes up, we kind of travel up, round, and we see a river run with almost a horseshoe. It glows as it comes from the west. It glows very slight, noticeable lessening of the glow in the west, but as it continues to glow, move and build up, you see in this overview a great glowing brightness that is quite noticeable near what we have explained to be in the last episode of the Damned 13. A dam that has been able to hold over the last couple centuries. Hold at least to a point. And this glowing seems to not only come from the river, but from the enormous glowing mushrooms there by the Damned 13. As we come back down into the city, we go towards the south and west just a little bit. We move slowly and slowly more and more in until we get to what would probably be the old 540 the old I-540. And as we slowly move closer and closer in there, we see moving plants. Noticeably feral ghouls as we pass. And moving closer and closer, moving back up around the 540, we see a group of individuals with what look like fish bowls on their heads, and some broken tubing coming out of those fish bowls, and a little backpack. They're otherwise dressed in torn leathers and the like, but they seem to have a crudely put together energy pistol. And they seem to be looking over a cage they have set up. A cage that contains several people. Those several people are being weeded through, and there's only about 4 of these individuals in their little fishbowl hats, fishbowl helmets, that are around at the moment, but they seem to be talking and pointing inside the cage. And inside the cage, we see a couple of individuals with one of them is wearing a pieced together hazmat suit. One of them has just got a gas mask on, and a lab coat and some gloves, some thick plastic gloves, and some combat boots with some dirty genie type material. And then we have, also in the cage, are 2 players. We have, starting as the display is, we'll start from me and go to Kane. Who do we see in this intro into Fallout Fort Smith in the cage, Kane?
There's a real dusty-looking ghoul standing in this cage. He's covered in a big, tattered-looking leather duster and a bunch of bandanas, which just sort of cover up most of his dangly flesh bits. There's pieces of old long-sleeve shirts sort of belted around his arms for much the same reason. He covers up a lot of his rot. Partially because, a lot of smooth skins don't take real kindly to the look of it, but also because he's kind of afraid if he doesn't protect it, it'll fall off.
Which is not far from the truth.
His name is Abrams Adalaide. He's a resident of the small ghoul community here by the Damned 13. What's the name of it again? What's it called?
The Barling Ghoul Settlement.
The Barling?
Uh-huh.
The Barling Ghoul Settlement. You just cut out the in-between.
Yeah. But some people just call it the bar, so.
The bar. I came from the bar.
There you go, Kane. For you.
Yeah,
you came from the bar.
I need another beer. He's got a big no wait, he doesn't have a knife anymore. It's a cane. I forgot. He's got a walking stick held out in front of him to keep himself steady, and he's got a big break open. It looks sort of like a pipe pistol, but it's using a fairly heavy gauge pipe, and it's break apart like an old double barreled shotgun, but obviously with only the one barrel.
Okie dokie. And beside him is
sorry. One more thing. He's got what appears to be some fairly complex looking medical implants in his Well, you can see one in his head, but you don't know if there's more other places.
Fair enough. And in the Fallout universe, that means there's like bigger things sticking out of his head. It's not like a medical thing, like, oh, it's real close to the skin. No, it's like there's something there.
Oh yeah, there's like a weird like half a car bumper just running along the right side of his head.
There we go. And beside him is a imposing looking individual.
Yeah, he's it's like a flesh mountain of a man.
No
he has,
bones.
Like no. He has like very defining features, you might say. His like forehead is trying to blind him constantly, so he has to like battle it with his eyebrows.
Equally muscular eyebrows.
Yeah.
I'll put a picture up for everybody.
And he has like ulcers and like wounds and scars all over him, band-aids, and he has this like umbrella with like a flowery like yellow and like red flowers on it, keep him from the sun, you know. Wearing this like very makeshift like tin armor with plastics and like weird protrusions and such. Partially painted.
All right.
And yeah, he looks terrible.
That's okay, we both look terrible.
Fair enough.
True.
All right.
We are not handsome men.
No.
All right. So these distinctly unhandsome men are in the cage at the moment, and as it stands right now, you guys are... The cage itself looks like it was put up together in pieces, and the last thing you guys remember was setting up, and you guys were getting ready for making camp before you went on the rest of the 540 interstate up towards and around and cut off and got in onto the road that would probably lead you safest to the fort, which is where you're headed. The problem was that you smelled something funny. You smelled something odd, and then as you guys did, Adalaide probably turned towards Aaron and was like, "Did you fall?" and kind of fell over. And Adalaide was like, "No." Basically, you guys got hit apparently with some knockout gas. And
Crazy purple knockout gas.
crazy purple knockout gas. You got hit with some knockout gas, and they set. This is something that once you wake up and kind of get your senses, Abrams, you realize, oh, dang it, because this is something that the Nuka-Nauts like to do. The Nuka-Nauts is a prominent raider gang here that likes to catch live individuals because they fancy themselves scientists, and they like to take some and sell others for slaves, but take some and use them in their scientific experiments.
Hey! Hey! I know you can hear me. You come down here, you let us out of here, I'm gonna kick you in your Nuka-nuts.
They kind of look over at you and, "Shut up, Shambler," and, "Or you're gonna be for the experiments."
you don't scare me, you Nuka-nut job.
You're not even worth eating. Oh, ghoul flesh. So soft and... bleh.
You wouldn't survive the radiation poisoning.
But they seem to be discussing which ones of you will need to go and which ones of you will need to stay. They're currently debating just offing Abrams because he is a ghoul and not likely to sell well, not likely to be good for eating, and not likely to be very obedient. They didn't.
All accurate statements.
They did not take much of your stuff. You can't find your ammo belt, but you don't know that they did not take the ammo out of your gun. It was still in your holster when you woke up. They may have just started discussing it.
Okay.
So, I'm basically saying you guys might have what's in your ammo right now, but you don't have any reloads.
I have no such thing as weaponry.
Yeah, that means I have one bullet and a sword.
And then you have your 2 compatriots.
Oh, yeah,
the scientists who, from your experience, are not very useful in a fight.
Okay. I'll look over it at Aaron. I got there. I'll look over at Aaron and I try to use my eyebrows to are you gonna do it? You want to do this? But like he's covered in so much stuff that he just looks like he's fucking. He's just like vibrating at you, just like you're not sure if he's having a seizure or not.
He kind of looks at the other 2 and just motions towards whatever your name was.
Abrams or Adalaide, either one works.
Yeah, Abrams.
Also take Abe.
Is he, should he do that?
Okay, I'm gonna roll a sleight of hand to unlock my my sword cane without anyone noticing.
Okay, that is possible. Yes.
Should I do the sword cane or should I try to draw the gun without anyone noticing? Okay, that's decent. Well, I said the cane first, so I won't change my mind. 28.
28. Ooh, good that you got a higher roll because they rolled an 18.
Ooh.
But they did not have enough to meet your 28.
No, I have a plus 12 to sleight of hand.
Yeah, they don't. These guys don't look, as far as Nuka-Nauts go, these guys do not look like the best of Nuka-Nauts.
Okay.
These are probably, there's like one of the 4 looks more seasoned. He's one that does not have his helmet on. The 3 Nuka-Nauts that have their helmet on are kind of discussing, like, what are we going to do with these? These are, you hear one say first catch and stuff like that. But he has his off. He's got a little field table set up. Well, I say field table. It's on the bumper of it's on the hood of a wrecked out Corvega.
Yeah.
But he's got it laid out. He's kind of keeping tabulations of there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 ghoul, this, that. So he seems to be a bit more with it. No one seems to notice that you've done that.
Okay. Let me just... I'm gonna go back into equipment and make sure my gun doesn't fire in a cone.
I gotta make sure that my gun doesn't just blast everybody up.
Because it's similar to a shell gun, but I don't think it actually fires in a cone. But I just need to make sure.
If it fires pellets, it might be fine. I don't know.
So how many Nuka-Nauts were there?
There are apparently 4.
4? And how close are they to us in general?
You are in a cage that is big enough to fit all 4 of you, but also small enough where you're not going to get like a lot of space to run around. You're going to just in it. Especially with Big Boy.
We're still in a cage?
Yeah, you're still in the cage. So they don't have you sticking out of the cage. Of course, these are green recruits, so maybe they were good at what they were doing or not.
Okay.
And is it like a padlock or something?
It's got a something like that on it. It doesn't look like it's a super complicated lock.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what even is the role for that? Disable device isn't a thing anymore, isn't it?
I think
so replaced with computers now, because why would anyone use an analog lock in Starfinder?
Yeah.
Now you know why someone would use an analog lock in Starfinder. Because no one can unlock it.
Could I replace that with engineering then?
Yeah. Are you spec'd in? What are you spec'd into at the moment? Because that probably would be more applicable since we're having to theme everything.
A little bit of everything, but I am spec'd into both computers and engineering.
Okay, so engineering would be fine.
Alright, rolling hot tonight. I can only imagine as soon as we get into combat, it's gonna be 2s.
Wow, Adelaide's. You should play ghouls all the time.
I should always just play red, just pigeonhole myself. Always a dead thing.
33.
30. Well, that's plenty. That's plenty to get this lock off. So you start to, and let me see. No,
there's no one else here for me to wait for them to start talking so I can go to the fridge to get a beer.
Yeah,
No.
see? You're stuck now. So you get it undone and you hear a click and you're like, oh, did they hear that? And you see that the one working on the Corvée over on his little Corvega bench didn't hear anything. He was too busy calculating up, and he does kind of glance over at you, kind of makes a note, and he yells over to the other 3. Shoot, I gotta put on normal accent. I can't be. They're not weird accents. They're like just from where I'm around. We're gonna keep the one with the. We're gonna keep the ghoul. Look at his head. He's got some scientifical stuff we're gonna use. I'm sure it'll make the commander proud.
You're muted.
No, I'm not muted. I just my mouth is just open because I don't know how to respond to that.
And they all look over.
You don't even know what it's for.
It's scientifical. That's what it's for. Science, he says. And the other 3 echo, science!
Alright, smart guy, scientifical. You have to come over here and tell me what this big old car bumper in my noggin does.
It is not for us to say, says the Corvega worker.
Just because you don't know.
The commander expounds what the technology is for.
I look behind me at the others and I said, like I said.
Yeah.
I can't whistle. It actually probably sounds like that because his lips are all.
There you go.
Dried up.
Yeah.
Dried throat.
He's gotta do it with his teeth, like.
All right. So, you go ahead and make that check, and you've done it. So you've got it open, and you were able to get your gun out, and they haven't noticed yet. So.
Okay. So while I'm looking at Aaron and the other two
Scientists.
guys,
They are legitimate. They are legitimate scientists.
yeah.
So
I'm looking at them and I look at Aaron because he's obviously the one with the big caveman forehead and the meaty fists. Like I look at him and I just move the gate open close just like a little bit just to show that it's not locked.
Oh.
And okay, how do I want to do this? Do I want to wait for them to like leave, or do I want to try and trick them into leaving, or do we just run out and shoot them? So we do have the element of surprise because they definitely think we're still locked in here.
How close are they to each other?
the Nuka-Nauts. The leader seems to be scrolling and working about 10 feet away from the door itself. They're at the other end of the cage discussing and preparing a couple separate cages, a couple separate smaller cages, which are loaded onto a flatbed pre-war truck that has some Brahmin strapped to the front of it. And you think that that's what they're going to use to transport the individuals. And they've got they've got 3 cages on that, so they're going to probably start sorting you guys out soon.
But the other, right? So the guys at the cages, they're like in close proximity to each other.
They are
And fairly close to us as well. Like,
All right. I'm also gonna sleight of hand the gun out, and then I'm gonna go grab beer. That's not a great number. 14.
well, they nat 1, so
Good, because I nat 2'd.
there you go. The dice are on y'all's side tonight.
For once, it happened.
But yeah, they're at the end of y'all's cage that you're currently in. They are just like 5 feet from the end of that, sorting the different, opening the other cages up to get ready to put together. And they're like 1, 2, 3 right with each other.
so they would be within 15 feet.
If you went to the end of the cage, yes, which is the
All right.
opposite end where the door is.
Okay. That's fine. He'll, like, squeeze his way.
So the
Get
two,
outside, okay. I need you to. I need. Yeah.
yeah, okay. Oh, And so you get to that side over there.
And then I'll have to wait for Kane because I think we want to, like, coordinate our escape.
Okay, that is doable.
Ugh.
Ugh.
I, like, ran out and grabbed beer and then frantically shoved all of my laundry into the dryer, and then he came in.
That's all right.
I
So,
get my tire fixed.
Aaron has moved himself to the other end, the opposite end of the cage, to get an angle on the 3 that are at that end of the cage. Currently, you are at the door, Adalaide, and you are closest. You're about 5 to 12 feet from the individual that is not 5 to 12, 5 to 8 feet from the individual that is right there working on top of the Corvega.
So it'll give him like a smirk and like a trying to hide a thumbs up.
Muted.
So we're busting out. That's what's happening.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. I'm gonna. Okay, so really quick, how close are they again?
The one that is closest to you
Mhm.
is outside the door and about 5 to 8 feet, so within moving distance to get a strike in on, and
Yeah.
does not seem to be aware of your ability to escape.
Okay. So we're doing this in the playtest 3 action turn.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to, I think, attack, move, and attack. So he's gonna shoulder his way out of the gate, level this this huge pipe pistol at the guy who's 5 to 8 feet away, and fire.
Okay.
That is a 23.
That will hit.
All right. And then I will
Against
move.
CAC, right?
Yeah, that's from shooting him in his cack.
Okay.
That's my favorite part of Starfinder. My inner 12-year-old. And then is there anyone else in movement distance from this door?
The others are at the far end of the cage. So the cage is probably like a 15-foot cage. So you
Okay.
technically could still move.
Okay, so I'm gonna. Well, let's see how much this damage does, anyways. 12 points of damage from the big shell that comes out of this hand cannon.
All right. He seems to, it seems to hit him right in the lower back, near where the kidneys would be. His armor is a little bit different. His Nuka-naut armor is, he's got the hat off, like we said, but it seems to be kind of fitted into combat armor, so he's got a bit more of a protection. So it slams
more
into that
robust.
combat. Yeah, a bit more robust protection, and it slams into that, and he gets like, slams him into the Corvega and knocks him over onto it, and he's like, they're out.
All right, and then I'm gonna move up and I'm gonna try and stab him. Hit. That's less good. Not terrible though. This is also against his kinetic. A 15.
15? No.
Okay.
That combat armor, he sees you coming up with your cane, and we said we should have took your stick, and he goes, blocks it, and it slams into his combat grieved armor. So there you go.
And that is me.
All right, and in your part of the surprise round,
So he's just like inhaling a lot of air, and his like throat just kind of expands like a bullfrog. And then he exhales this ball of flame out of his mouth. So they need to make a reflex save, DC 17.
okay.
Shit, I rolled a 6 for damage.
On what damage die?
On 3d6.
Oh. Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
What was the DC?
17. For
17.
half.
Yeah. One will take half. One will not take half. And one definitely won't take half. So only one of them's going to take half.
I don't know if I can reach them with one move action. I move 35 feet. Otherwise, I could go up to the leader with a move action.
You could.
And then he'll like out of his hand, this little, or not little, quite a big stinger shoots out, and he try and jabs it into the kidney area of this gooey.
The gooey parts, the gooey parts of the Nuka-naut leader. Okay.
I rolled a 10. Did. Wait, no, that's not right. Didn't my pace attack is not in there.
Better
That's a
than
10. That's a 14. So yeah, it doesn't hit.
Okay. So it goes, shink, and he's like, "Oh, he's got something in his hand." There we go. All right, now we're going to roll initiative to see where everybody's fallen.
Oh yeah, I suppose that means I also need to roll initiative.
Yes, everybody needs to roll. I was like, well, no one's rolling. What's going on?
This thing where you participate in the game.
I got an 8.
8 total.
Ah,
Yep.
I still can't roll for initiative. 5 plus 9, 14.
All right. And well, apparently, these new recruits with the Nuka-Nauts are more spry than they might look, and they go first.
It's all the fear adrenaline.
So, so there you go. All right. They are going to step up to. Everybody's kind of right in the same spot at the moment, so. I need to see when they go to. So they go last. All right. They're going to step up probably to. The ghoul was said to get kept, so they're going to go up to the big one, and they're not going to step right up to you. They're going to like get. They felt you sploosh this weird, hot, acidy kind of stuff fire at them, and they're like, oh, and they're like, we're going to focus on him because he breathes freaking fire. So they raise their weapons, don't even bother moving, and they're going to take 3 shots at you. So it's 3 shots each.
I hope you got a lot of hit points.
I do. I have a stupid amount of hit points.
Let's see how it goes then. Whoa, that's gonna be like 9 attacks. Okay.
9. Okay, yeah, but like most of them are going to be a -5 or worse.
Yeah, let's do the first 3 good attacks. So we'll do that first. What are they using? Okay, they got a bonus to it.
These cack.
These are CAC.
These are
They. Oh wait, no, these are not CAC, because they have a crude. They have a. I said they had crude laser weapons.
Crude energy weapons.
Yeah, crude energy weapons. So they don't look like very powerful energy weapons, but they work. They're energy.
So yak.
Yeah, one of those 1,000,000,001 laser pistols we took off the thugs in the AP.
There you go. Well, that's a 4. That's not gonna hit your. Well, what is your EAC?
It's 17.
Okay, so no.
Oh, also, I don't know if this is helping. Yeah, I get a +2 AC when I'm in close combat.
Okay.
So that's 19.
All right. So none of the good ones hit. Let's see if any of the bad ones hit. 1. No. No.
Are they shooting each other now?
It's just like, 1 hit. No.
Alright.
17. No.
19.
Yeah. 1 hits. No, wait, it doesn't because of all the penalties. Dang it!
Yeah.
I gotta roll a 20 to hit. No, none of them hit you. It's just like on the video games. Their aim is just as good on the video games.
It's kind of like I think some of these lasers maybe bounced off your weird experiment skin.
So
The oily pus.
Ugh.
oily plus skin.
Ugh.
So, you feel the heat from the lasers go because that's how lasers work.
Oh,
But-
oh.
I'm not sure how Adalaide is to take that sound,
Oh, you're
but
so dumb. Oh.
the you feel the heat go by and it's like they're like ah, and that's about how they act because they were not prepared for this. They didn't say anything about fighting mutated human things. Just slavers, man. Just slavers and science and all that. So
They have the science. They have the science on their side.
So
The power of science compels you.
so that's their turn. Let me see. Now we are on Adalaide.
Yeah. I'm gonna beat the crap out of this guy.
Maybe.
That doesn't specify. So basically what happens is because this is an unwieldy weapon and I can't fire it more than once, he knocks it against like the back of his knee and it breaks open and this shell comes flying off to one side and a mechanism underneath the barrel slides another shell up into it for when he shuts it. He like brings it around and slaps it on the front of his thigh and the barrel clicks back into place.
Cool. So that I assume that's a 1 action thing.
Yes,
All
that's
right.
my load. So he'll fire that. Yeah, I'll go for the 2 attacks again. I'll fire the gun point blank, and then try to stick him with the sword.
Do you have the equivalent of? Is there equivalent of point blank shot in Starfinder?
I don't know, but I don't have it.
I don't know if there's an equivalent for that. Feels like that's a AOO though.
No, I think they we were talking about this earlier when we were reviewing it. I think they got rid of it because of how heavily focused range combat was in Starfinder.
Oh, okay. I understand that now.
I could be wrong.
You can tell us in the comments, everybody, and if we're wrong, you can let us know. All caps, shout at us, blah 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 blah. Yeah.
You're bad at Dungeons and Dragons. That'll be an 18 hand cannon.
18 on the hand cannon? No. You fire, but it goes off the armor.
God damn! What is that made of? Then the sword cane's not going to hit either because that's a 15.
Okay.
This Nuka-nutt's made of metal.
All right. So there we go. That is Adalaide. Now it is the Nuka leader's turn. The Nuka guard is going to... He's going to focus on Adalaide, I think. And you're close combat right now. Oh, how fitting. He takes out his... he slips on his... Spends one action to slip on his Power Fist.
Oh, God.
And he's going to hit you.
I thought Power Fists were, like, really strong.
What's your CAC?
18.
18? Well, he gets that on the dice.
Oh,
So that's one hit on the good. He doesn't have to move to hit you, so he's going to do another hit. That's a 4, so no. So one comes through, and it is... minimum damage. 6 damage, half of which is electric damage.
Oh yeah, if we're using... Is this from the Starfinder rules or from the playtest rules, Alex?
This is Starfinder, but playtest is the same though.
Well, if you have to spend a reaction on it, you have to be able to make attacks of opportunity, don't you?
Yeah.
So yes, he could have hit me, I think.
We know for in the future, then.
Although he didn't act in the round, so I guess. Yeah.
Well, you're right. He had.
Oh yeah, he would have been flat-footed because he was still in the surprise round. Because he hadn't acted
He
yet.
hadn't acted since the surprise round, yeah. So yeah, he couldn't have made it. All right.
Does that change whether or not I shot him?
Let me see. You were aiming at CAC, weren't you?
Yeah, 18.
With that minus. No, I don't think so.
Damn, how high is his fucking armor bonus?
You have to kill him to find out.
Yeah, apparently.
All right.
Yeah, that's... How much? 6?
Yes, 6, and half of it is electric.
Alright, I don't think that matters to me.
As he smacks into you, you see... as it... With the impact, it seems to make a mechanically electric connection and go... and zap you.
Hey! Those muscles don't move like that anymore.
They do now. All right. And that leaves us to Aaron.
Oh. Gotta stop this guy now. He's got a big fist.
It's almost as big as yours.
Oh. Alright. That's a 25 to hit.
25 will hit, for sure.
So, 11 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And then he needs to make a DC 17 fort save.
Nope.
Alright. So he's poisoned.
Ooh, good.
He takes 7 points more.
7 points more. Alright.
Got him. It just sticks the the spur into like his armor or something. Found like a kink in the armor.
Oh, so he feels that sting and he's like, "Ah! What are you?"
I'm Aaron.
Hey, Ron.
Aaron. Okay, now we know the proper pronunciation of his name. Aaron.
Yeah, I guess I'll do 2 more attacks with the same spur.
Okie dokie.
Okay, so the first one is 17, and the other one is 15.
Neither of those work.
Alright.
Okie dokie. Now we're back at the top. No, wait, no we're not. The 2 scientists in the cage are like, what do they want to do? They want to get towards they want to get out of the door, and 15, 20, 25, 30. So they're out the door, and they're gonna head towards where they've kind of got y'all's the packs that were being carried. They got those over there. They seem to have latched your Brahmin to another pre-war car, broken down car that was there, so it wouldn't wander off. So that's where they're going to run to. And now we're back at the top. So the Nuka-Nauts are going to they're still going to shoot at Aaron. So that was a 3 on the dice. 7 on the dice. And another 3 on the dice. So all the good attacks did not hit, which means we're going to have to pray for 20s. Well, that's no, I thought it was an 18. That's a 16. What's their bonus? What am I shooting for?
Ooh, 19.
Okay, so the other one would have hit too. So we got 1 hit, 2 hit. So we got 2 hits on those. Let's go ahead and give you that damage. And that was your energy, correct?
Yep.
So 8 plus 5, so 8, 9, 13 total energy damage.
Ooh.
Okay.
Boiling my boils.
They're just they're cauterizing all the sores that you have, so it's like, oh, this shouldn't be good, but it is. Okay, and then they've got 3 more attacks that are they gonna launch them at you? One of them is gonna run off towards where the scientists are going. And he can kind of catch up to one of them as fast as they move. So he can catch up to one, but the other 2 kind of come 5 feet closer, but are still aiming at Aaron. So now it is Adelaide's turn.
All right. I'm gonna 5 foot back, because that's enough of that. And he's gonna do his little reload dance again. The noise it makes, because it's made out of this old pipe material, a lot of it is. The noise you're familiar with from films and stuff, that high pitched like ting noise, comes from the quality of the metal. Because this is made from like older scavenged piping material, the sound is a lot like duller and lower in tone, so it's more like ting,
Tung, tung.
and he'll level the gun to fire once. Oh, there we go. That's a roll that'll kill someone.
Maybe. He's not looking super hot. He's been poisoned twice.
I don't know if it'll kill him, but it'll shoot him real good. 24.
24 will hit.
For 11 points of damage.
All right. He is not looking good. He's like, let's not do anything too hasty. Oh. And that's everything you're gonna do?
That's all 3 actions. That's a move, a reload, and a fire.
I never act in haste. This was all premeditated.
All pretty meditated. Okie dokie. So
This is an ass kicking in the first degree.
he says, I think we've got off on the wrong foot as far as he holds back some vomit from his poisoning.
Is he gonna take damage from that poison again on his turn?
As long as he doesn't make his save.
Oh, he's...
Well, let's handle that while he's talking. What's the save again?
17.
Okay, he gets a 16 on the dice, so he makes the save. To and he let's not be too hasty about this. Maybe we got off on the wrong foot with the whole knockout gas and all that and cages. I think we can just we'll let you go on if you otherwise we'll take you on. Shakes his power fists, not very convincingly.
Okay. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tell him.
Why don't you drop that power fist on the floor and get in that cage?
Which cage?
The one with the big scary ape man in it.
Oh. Well, he wasn't. Okay. So he's like, I gotta leave my fist?
Yep, yeah, just back up in that corner over there.
Make me a
Diplomacy?
I guess it'd be diplomancy. So
No, I don't have any diplomancy. I got...
Wasteland diplomacy.
otherwise
I don't
known
have
as
it.
intimidation.
Alright. 15.
He wasn't very hard to convince, considering that he's almost dead. So he's like, takes it off, kind of kisses it and puts it down gentle and hobbles over in there. And he said, "Boys, let's just get in the cage." And they look at him like, "What? What? But we ain't been hit at all." and they look. The connection doesn't seem to happen in their brain that they might not have been hit, but he's almost dead. It's like, yeah, I got that, boys. We've showed them that we Nuka-Nauts are not to be trifled with. So with your stalwart protection of your vitalities, now just get in the cage. So they kind of look, and would you like to make any? Would either one of you like to make a roll to diplomacy or otherwise intimidate them to also get in the cage?
Can I make an attack roll?
No, that would be an aggressive action. So this is a chance to do that. Text box has come up, left, right, down.
I think perhaps Aaron might have a better chance of scaring folks than I do.
You should eat some dairy products, like milk or something. It helps after getting stung. And you guys want to get stung too? Want to get stung?
and he extract the other one, and he kind of just like that's a 23 intimidate.
It's just a deranged 6-year-old.
So he's like, they're like, we don't want to fight any muties. Yeah. And they start to edge into the thing, and you see them close the door, and they reach out and latch the lock and back to the back of it.
Well, all's well that ends well.
Yeah.
I didn't even get hurt that bad.
No, it was. No.
I'm gonna tell you, if this bit of flesh here over my ribs comes off, I'm coming back for you.
Oh, I don't think that'd be necessary. No, won't be necessary at all. Ugh.
I'm gonna take his power fist. Do we want to get out of here, or you want to murder them in their cage? You want to shoot these fish in the brow?
No. I mean, where are we?
Oh, we're in a Nuka-Cola bottling plant.
No, not yet. They were going to take you back there. So you guys are still not far from the interstate where you needed to turn off. They seem to have wandered farther out, probably to break in the new recruits, you would suspect. So they wandered farther away, down where some easier targets might have been coming through.
I don't know, we're probably just a little ways off the interstate yet. Normally they take new pickings back to this old burned out bottling factory. Bottling plant. That's the word.
Yeah.
It's been so long since I've seen a plant.
Well, I don't know. Around here.
All the trees are real spooky looking and they got ghouls in them.
That's not far from the truth.
All right, that's good. It would be terrible if we were lost, you know. Then we would have to ask them for the way.
Oh, not at all. I know where we are. The town should be just south of here. Or the fort.
Yeah, the fort. Fort is north of here. Yeah.
I don't know what interstate we're on in your crazy dumb highway system.
So you've got your little Pip-Boy map thing up.
Okay.
You said that you bought, you salvaged a damaged Pip-Boy.
Yeah.
To get your VATs.
My targeting computer.
Yeah. So it has basic maps on it, but it doesn't give you any kind of locality stuff. You got to rely on yourself for that. So, down in the lower left-hand corner,
We're probably like right around here. So we gotta get back on the interstate, follow it up northward into Fort Smith. I don't know why the 540 turns into the 271. That didn't make no sense to me.
Yeah, you're right there where it turns from 271 into 540. So you need to follow the 271 up Towson Avenue to get to where you're going.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe we can see like parts of the airport off in the distance.
It's hilly, so probably not.
Huh.
At least that part where you guys are, right near Vienna Hills. But otherwise, there you go. You guys are at the lower left-hand corner of the map, and you want to make your way up to the middle portion of the map, where it says Natnall Cemetery. At the
I don't see that on here.
At the bend of the river where Rogers and 71 meet, not far from Moffat. On the left side of the screen. Left side of the map.
I see Midland Boulevard and Rogers and the 22.
I have like 2 international highways in my country. I don't.
Well, let me see.
You got
you
the
see,
QE1 and the QE2.
so this the bane of all the adventuring stuff. All right, so Moffat.
The American road system, yes.
So you see where you are at 271 down in the lower left-hand corner.
Yeah.
That's where you all are. You travel directly north, and it will bump into Rogers Avenue.
Yeah.
Right there is the National Cemetery, where
Oh,
those two meet. That's where
I was following the 540. That's why.
Don't follow the 540, 271. Follow the old 271.
God, it's like getting real fucking instructions.
Yeah, isn't it? Totally. See, this is what it would be like if you were in the fantasy universe, and you'd be like, well, where is it? Well, it's down the road there. You take a left and you go right, and it's right up the street on the.
If you're curious what the new Red Dead Redemption 2 game is like when you turn off the minimap, this is it. This is what it's like. It's real innovative, but super fucking irritating.
Fair enough.
Walk up to NPCs and ask them for directions.
Nobody likes asking for directions.
That's almost like stopping at like red lights in Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, but like, I do that.
No.
Who stops at red lights and who stops at red lights in Grand Theft Auto? You know who does that? A synth. That's
real
who does that.
bad at running from the cops.
They gotta see you to bother you about it.
Just follow the damn train, CJ.
All right. But you guys can follow that 271 north from where you are.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Muty. As you have to pass around them to go north, they all kind of move away from Aaron.
All right. I'm gonna take that power fist with me. Is there anything radioactive around?
Yeah. Everything.
Well, I mean, like, especially.
Something especially radioactive?
Yeah.
Not in this area. This area didn't seem to catch it a lot. But you do know that the closer you get to the bend of the river, the Arkansas River, the more radiation you're going to get. So,
Okay. Can I take some Nuka-Cola? I just want to hold something to this bruise.
Well, you didn't search him. So.
Oh, well, I mean, I wasn't going to leave him here to starve. They probably got a key on him.
That's very true. All right. So you head north?
Yeah.
Yep.
You guys start traveling north. Roll me a D100 as well as perception checks.
Ooh, we got a nat 20.
I did not. I got a 35 on the D100 and a 21 on the perception.
21 on the perception, and then what was the 100 result?
35.
35. All right. You're keeping an eye out. You're watching. Despite the low levels of radioactivity, there's occasionally a roaming ghoul around here. The thing
You mean
that
feral ghoul or?
well, it depends. The most ghouls stay over by where the
Is it wearing
Damned
shoes?
13 is.
Yeah.
No.
That's
No.
how you identify them.
That's fair. That's fair. You both do really well on your perceptions, so you don't have to bump into either one of these. But on your way to, I should also ask, are you being careful on your way or not?
Careful as I normally am.
Okay.
I mean, I live here.
Yep. So
I mean, the ghouls probably don't normally bother me.
not normally, but you're with humans right now,
Mhm.
and you're with two humans and something that's human based.
Human-ish.
So, you continue north. You pass. I have to pass that way in my mind now. You pass by several buildings. There's an old destroyed. What is it? It's a stone cabinet place that has probably seen probably seen some looting, but maybe someone, you see some activity in it is what it is. You see some activity in it, and you're not super sure if it's a scaver or if it's a raider, but it could be either one. You could go investigate that if you want to or not. But it doesn't move like a ghoul, like a feral ghoul. So that's the first thing.
And I see this activity in, like an old shelled out house?
No, it's an old stone cabinet place. Its name has
Stone
been
cabinet.
stone cabinet top.
Oh! Okay.
Stone cabinet top place. Its name is off now. There's no telling what its name was, but that's what you find there. And sometimes people have gone in there. You've heard tell that the fancy smancy rich smoothskins and even some of the rich ghouls have had scavers go in there and try and find them nice nice cabinet tops and stuff. But
I mean, there's from personal experience, there's a couple of countertop places up here. I don't think there's anything valuable in there that I'm worried about. And if they're in there scavenging on a job, I don't think they're going to bother us.
okie dokie.
Oh, Jesus!
He says as he starts to slip down. But the Brahmin behind you goes, and keeps on moving. So you continue on. Dr. Humphrey and his assistant, Goldie, I think I named it, yeah. Dr. Humphrey and Goldie continue to follow you.
What are you looking to do in this university anyway?
Well, we need to examine certain things that may be there from the old pre-war. We're hoping to find perhaps some research papers or things along those lines for, and he glances over towards Aaron, experimentation on things.
Yeah, when he glances over at Aaron, like, Abrams also looks at Aaron.
Yeah, I got a bucket list.
Okie dokie. He's got a bucket list, but it's not a bucket list of places to go, actually. It's actually a bucket list of body modifications he wants. I want a rad scorpion tail. I want death claw claws. You know.
Everybody's got to have a hobby, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's in my contract, so you know, like.
Which part?
There's like certain things I have to kind of do, you know, for science. So, yeah. Well, it's not that bad. I mean, most of the time.
We do try to make it as painless as possible.
Real humanitarians.
Yes, yes.
The conversation is awkward now, and
Yeah.
Abrams doesn't talk a lot normally, so that suits him fine.
Alright. You continue heading up, and you pass probably what would be called the restaurant area, the restaurant strip of Towson. You keep moving forward. There's the second thing that happens as you are moving along is that you see a group of individuals moving carefully, but not necessarily stealthily, as you start to get closer to the fort, which is located where the National Cemetery is in real life. They built up around that. You head up that way, and as you're starting to get a little bit closer, you see what would likely be described as a patrol. It has individuals with both ballistic and energy weapons. You see a rifle mainly, in rifles of each type, but there do seem to be an occasional person carrying a handgun, and there's about 5 of them, and they seem to be walking not necessarily in a place that will intersect with you, but if you wanted to talk to them, you could. And they seem to move from east to west.
And they're going to intersect with us when we're going up to 271. They're going like the 22?
I will zoom in some more. No, you encounter them closer to South Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
So you encounter them closer to South Phoenix, and that's about a mile.
It's very confusing to anyone who doesn't have a map of Fort Smith up on their computer.
Indeed, we will have a map up for individuals. I just leave it up there, and it will be up occasionally. For those that are not site-based, it is north, and they've probably traveled another 2 miles from where they saw the individual in the cabinet, the stone cabinet place. So they continue to. You can either intersect with them or not. It's your choice.
I don't mind intersecting.
Okay. You get closer, and they kind of look up and take note of you and kind of look around. Say, one of them. You don't appear to be hostile or anything.
No, he just like a single wave.
Okay, so if you get a single wave, you get a single wave back, and they start to go off. As they turn to face you, you see a little shimmer on their, usually over their left chest, and you're like, oh, those are some of the new marshals. So
okay, the law.
Well, not officially.
Yeah, but you know, the law. Yeah, if we end up running across each other, I'll just tell them they're them Nuka-nuts are taking in some new recruits. We got them locked up in a cage about a mile or two down the road here. I don't know if they're still in it, but they were out grabbing folk, and we happen to be folk.
One of them comes up, got not a Stetson, but the shape of a Stetson. He says, with his, he's got a regular lever action rifle. He says, "Oh, well, thank you. Good to know that. Where are they at?"
Okay, can I give him like a more specific idea?
Yeah, you can just tell them they're at where 271 and Towson intersect. Those two roads. So.
Yeah, just 2 miles down where the highways intersect. They're, I don't know, maybe a couple 100 yards off the road next to an old burned out caravan truck.
All right. Well, we appreciate that. Where are you from?
Here, me, leading these out-of-towners through around down to the university.
They want to go to the university?
That's what I said.
All right. Well, okay then. I guess we'll let them go out there. You gonna escort them, or are they gonna go out there themselves?
Well, they paid me to take them down, so I suppose I'll take them down.
Oh. Well, all right then. Good, you're gonna honor your contract on that. Well, we'll go round up them Nuka-Nauts, see if we can find anything. They say anything about stuff going on? Roll me a sense motive.
Yeah. Oh man, I do not have the skills I thought I had. It's a 10.
10. He seems to be wanting to get a good idea of, if they divulged any plans of more slavers or something. More slaves or something.
Well, I think they were looking to keep me for, reasons. I don't know what they were planning to do with the rest of them. Probably sell them off. I didn't get any names of who they might have been talking to.
Oh, well, all right.
I was
Well,
too busy laying lead into one of them.
that's fine by us, they say, and look around at each other. But we appreciate you taking out them raiders then, or at least that little group. You heading on up to the fort, I guess, then, so we won't try to keep you from it.
Yes, sir.
Alright. And nod. Kind of nod to the big guy.
Come on.
I mean, I don't know. It's probably pretty easy to tell that Abrams is a ghoul. I mean, he looks like a walking patchwork quilt, but the voice probably gives him away.
Yeah. To your experience, when you last left, there weren't any kind of hostilities between the new marshals and the ghouls, but usually the fort doesn't like ghoul residents. They don't care if ghouls come in and out, but they don't care for ghoul residents.
Mm-hmm.
But the same thing's true for the bar. They don't much like smooth
skins
staying. They don't mind if they come in, but they don't care for them staying. So it goes a little bit of both ways on that one.
All
right, you guys head up and you start to see, as you get closer up there, you see both the fort, which the old National Cemetery is where it was located. And in the National Cemetery, there's a nice fence going around. There's a clock tower, and there's an old building, very old building, old in the pre-war. You know that it is where the mayor stays, but everything else outside of that little section, has been built up over the graves, and they have, it's not a shanty town. They have a fairly constructed, for lack of a better word, marketplace and residential area that it uses wood. Around here, trees still grow, but they don't grow straight. So what you're seeing in a lot of the architecture is that instead of working against that, they kind of work with that. They cut along they cut strips out of a lot of the wood, and then they work it in there and cut it into, weave around into it. So some of the buildings have trees in their architecture, and they've grown up in and around the graves, so they've had to work around in that. But the fort there is what you see. You've got you're coming into the main portion of the fort. It has a barricade around it, and it has one outer barrier, which seems to have guards of the that belong to the fort, as well as a wall as a secondary barrier before you start to enter, built up with old pre-war cars that have been wrecked and stacked as best they could for the bottom, and then other things as best they could for the higher up portions. So you get this ramshackle outer wall with only the very minutest of symmetry going on. They stop you and say, one of the main guards for the fort stops you and says, "Okay, what's your business?"
A business. I'm leading some out-of-towners through up north towards the university.
Oh. Okay. Well, I guess you can stay here tonight, Ghoul. but don't hang around too long, all right?
No, don't worry. I'm just passing through, Smooth Skin.
All right. Get on in here. So they let you in. And now you have a chance to enter the market. And that's where the main portion enters. The residential portion is up by where the mayor lives.
Okay.
Oh, what do you do for fun here?
Here? No, in here I don't do much of nothing. I live up at the bar.
Oh. What do you do in the bar then?
That's a good question.
I drink.
I mean, ghouls probably would drink a lot because alcohol helps you bleed radiation.
Well, there you go. We've got accounts of them in the lore of drinking, being alcoholics, or being just drinkers. So,
I suppose you do a lot of the same stuff you do at a regular bar.
No, all right.
You know, a little couple cups of whiskey, like full cups, because his organs are probably, kind of messed up. A couple cups of whiskey sets you straight. You bleed off a little radiation. You're a little less moldy. Not moldy, but shut up.
Look, I was saying anything.
all right. So, inside the fort, you have bustling is not necessarily the right word at this time of day. It's taken you all probably a good portion of the day to get in here, at least in a safe manner. So it'd probably be good to find a place to bed down for the night.
I'm gonna leave that to you. I can't think of the Muppet's name now.
Humphrey?
Farnsworth and Baker.
Dr. Humphrey and Goldie, his assistant.
I know, but I was gonna call them Muppets.
All right. They
just because they probably don't want to sell a room to a ghoul, so you'd probably have better luck booking them yourself.
make me just do you have society? Or whatever they call it in Starfinder. What is it called in Starfinder? Knowledge, whatever.
Probably not.
Do.
Culture?
There we go.
Yeah.
You got knowledge culture?
It's not trained, but I have it.
Okay, you can roll it.
I don't know that it has to be trained, though.
Culture says trained only, but you can get a 10 in it.
Well, I got a 9, so I did about as well as I could have.
That's enough to let you know for the most basic of knowing that in town you've heard other ghouls, you haven't stayed there, but you've heard other ghouls say that Fiddler's Fattle does allow ghouls, but it's there's only like 2 hotels, 2 inns here in the fort, and one is Fiddler's Fattle and one is the Posh Hotel not far from.
Oh yeah, I don't think I could afford no place called the Posh.
Yeah, so
you'll be looking for a place called Fiddler's You'll know it when you see it. My tongue is rotting out of my fucking mouth.
That's not an inaccurate assessment, says Humphrey.
I wasn't being facetious.
But Fiddler's Faddle is where you can go if you want to get a room for yourself. And the Humphrey starts to look around then and start to look for Fiddler's Faddle. From your experience with Humphrey, he's not a people person. So the amount of success he'll have finding Fiddler's Faddle is dependent on the dice.
Uh-huh. What about Goldie?
Goldie is...
Can only say, me.
Goldie is... She's smart-ish, but there's a reason she's still an assistant and has not gone any higher than that, and that's because smart-ish ain't enough, especially when that's paired with being a bubble-headed individual. So she's very nice, very pretty, and intelligent, but not very
academically inclined.
Yeah, she's you got more with academics and less with kind of like, oh, that's the repercussions of this or that.
Oh, high int, low wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like Rose, but more Rose off Golden
She's
Girls.
a sociopath.
So there's that.
Okay, so what I would like to do is while they're doing that, I would like to purchase a firearm with money I have left over. However, I would like to represent that with going to retrieve it from a stash.
Okay, you're gonna pretend like you're retrieving it from a stash, but you're actually gonna go buy one?
No, I would like to go retrieve it from a stash. I would just like mechanically to take money off my sheet.
Oh, okay. I got you. That's fine.
I gotta go pick up some stuff. I'll meet you at Fiddler's Green Litter.
Fiddler's Faddle. Okay.
Fiddler on the roof. Yeah, whatever.
All right.
Okay. So, we continue on then. You guys are going to go to Fiddler's Faddle. He's picking up that. Fiddler's Faddle is located on the southern end of the mercantile area, and it is the lower end inn for a reason. It's not located very strategically to avoid the riffraff. But as you come in, you see a person of looks like Asian descent of some kind, and she is behind the bar, basically working it like you think she would. And she does appear to be not just the person that's working it, but also the person in charge. She seems to have a commanding presence in that sense. And as you come in, she says, "Come in, sit down, have whatever you want to have. I got the menu written over there. You can read, can't you?" That wasn't a facetious question. She was asking legitimately if everybody could read.
Yeah, she's talking to you. I'm not here right now.
Yeah, I know my alphabets.
All right. Well, come on, sit down and you can start up on whatever you're wanting to get. And so, she has a menu appropriately themed for the wasteland. She has baked bloatfly. She has stingwing fillet. She has Instamash and some Blamco mac and cheese. And even a little bit of cram. So, you can pick some of that. She has some alcohol on tap. She has regular beer. She has some probably homemade, locally homemade whiskey of questionable virtue. And she even has, where is that? Oh, she even has some Cynthiana wine that only probably Adalaide would know that it is a local winery here that uses mute fruit to make their wine. And it's supposed to be good.
Can I drink alcohol today, or is it not good for experiments?
We haven't started any experiments yet, so you can probably drink today if you want to. Though, don't get too carried away. We don't want any kind of incidences like might have happened north of Dallas on the crater's edge.
No, I don't know. Don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'll try my best.
Very good, very good.
I'll have some tap beer and bloatfly.
Okie dokie. So you guys are set up. She charges 10 caps for a night. And there you go.
All right. Yeah. Abrams does show up at some point.
Okay. So you guys start that up. The bar is, even though it is the lower end of the kind of totem pole of the bar of the inns around here, it has a fair traffic going through it. There's probably, you see a lot of scabbers, a lot of traders, but you also see the occasional individual that probably a merc, and probably one or two individuals, you're not sure, but they might be a raider that's not raiding at the moment, but can't fully peg that one. It doesn't seem to be a problem because in here there are also individuals wearing badges that denote them to be of the new marshals. You don't see any guards in this particular establishment, though.
Okay, there we go. I was just finalizing all the things on the character sheet.
Okay.
Yeah, Abrams comes back with a big, long rifle slung over one shoulder.
Okay.
And he walks in up to the bar and he says, "Me Adora, give me some of that mute food rind and that old tub whiskey you make out of them two clawfoots welded together in the back."
Oh, all right. Now, she said, "I know you from around here." She's getting your stuff.
What's her name? I want to make it canon now because I've done it about 7 times. Abrams is really bad with names.
Her name is Jill Wynn. Like
Jill
NG
Wynn?
Yeah. NG.
I wasn't even close when I came in here and called her Miadora.
No. So, her name is Jill Wynn, and yeah. Now, whether you've seen her or not is kind of up to whether you decided if you've come into the fort much or not.
He's probably been in the fort a couple times, and if this is one of the only ghoul-friendly establishments, he's definitely been in here before.
Okay.
I mean, because he would have had to come through the fort to hide things.
Right. I got you. Make me a perception check.
She's a synth.
You know who does that? A synth.
A synth. 25.
25. That's enough. You see that she has taken to wearing her hair down on one side. She's got long black hair. It's thinned out a little bit recently. You can tell. And you couldn't remember her name, but you kind of remembered her face. And it looks a little different. And she's wearing her hair down on this side, and it's still pulled around out of her way on the other. And as she's moving around, you can kind of see her move, and it moves the hair a little bit, and you can tell that there's a bit of ghoulification starting to happen on her ear. And she's trying to cover it up.
Yeah, Jim, Jello, Jamboree, God damn it. And he, like, hits the implant in the side of his head. Jill, that's it!
There you go.
It's old. It don't always work like it's supposed to anymore.
Oh, is that something everybody, all you ghouls have to get? She says. You can tell she's
No, this
feigning
is,
no interest, but
This is pre-war.
oh, you had that pre-war?
Yeah, they were, they wanted to know if the complex implants would handle radiation. Well, they did. The only reason I can still remember how to count and do math.
Oh.
And not eat people. You know, the usual.
Oh, well, they still do that?
I don't reckon the
hospital, the pharmacy.
the outfit what did it still standing, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You can tell she was pretending not to be interested in what you were saying about needing it to not... The way you phrased it is you needed it to not go feral and to remember things. And so she's tried to feign disinterest, but you could tell she was kind of...
Yeah, that's kind of what I was also thinking. I think Abrams also, like, kind of genuinely believes that if he hadn't had this implant, he would not have remained intelligent.
Fair enough. So
His theme is biotechnician, though. He was pre-war. He was a scientist, but didn't have obviously much use for a degree in computer engineering after the war. So he's got, I suppose, a fair idea of how this implant works. Not enough to actually put it in someone's head, but he's got a fair idea of how it works.
fair enough. So she serves you your food, kind of keeps an eye on you. You see her linger sometimes on your headpiece.
Yeah.
But other than that,
My bumper.
your bumper. Other than that, the night goes fine. You see that Dr. Humphrey kind of has he steps out after talking to Jill for a bit. He steps out for a few minutes and then comes back and to order his dinner and finish up. And he says, I've sent a message over to the Ward Hotel, and that's someplace that Adalaide would know that it is a place that occasionally individuals will come in and out with jobs and stuff like that, and it's a place you can sometimes find work as either a delivery, as a courier, or as a caravan guard, or sometimes
it's a courier.
Yeah, courier. As a courier and stuff like that. And that's kind of what it functions as. It's not... the Ward Hotel functions as that. The reason that he has sent someone over there is he says that he has the individual that gave him an idea that there might be something left at the West Ark University ruins was an individual that was staying at the Ward Hotel. They were working out of there and stuff. So he has sent a message to them, and they should be around probably in the morning sometime, if not tonight.
Okay. For what?
Well, to give me more information of what we might find there and how to get to it.
Wasn't that what you hired me for? I know how to get to it.
I know you know how to get to the ruins, but I mean to get to the things that are in the ruins.
Hey, well, first step probably to be find a gun, like a real big one, because like there's probably like a lot of feral ghouls in there.
The university
or something.
There's several things there. It depends on. Sometimes it depends on when you go, because at night the ghouls like to roam. But
just feral ghouls. It's not that far from the river, so there's mirelurks.
No, this one's actually in the middle of the horseshoe, so it's not. There's no mirelurks there. There's no daddy lurkers either. Which is crawdaddies. But the thing that you have to worry about most around there is that spot right there. And then in the southern portion, towards the east, there seems to be a higher concentration of robots. Yeah, there and there, over there and over there. The university seems to have a slightly higher concentration of robots that cause problems for scabbers. But it's odd because there seems to be new robots every now and then. But they don't know why they come there.
Mom, and didn't you say there's a faction centered out of Robco?
There is a Robco manufacturing, not like a Robco business building, but an actual manufacturing place.
Yeah.
So that may be where they get sent from, but it's not there. That's the part that's down in the southeastern area of the map. So it's odd that someone would build something there and then send it up to the university. But it's one of those oddities that happens in the wasteland. Sometimes there's just a new robot at the university ruins, and all the old parts from the other robot get scabbed up real quick. But there was no human scabbers there doing it, so...
They could be sent there to pick up the old dead robots that are falling apart. I mean, there are so many of them walking around pre-war, sometimes they just wander around into places they weren't before.
Yeah. Their AI gets off track. They're pathing. Ah! Alright.
You know, sometimes technology malfunctions with age and he knocks on the implant.
Yeah. So. Well, as you guys continue to discuss and start to get ready for bed, you know, starting to try and turn in, you finish up your discussion and you say, he says, well, I feel like I'm going to go ahead and turn in now.
It's probably a good idea. You smooth skins need your rest.
And surprising you a little bit, a man speaks up. Not far from where you guys are, right at your table, actually. You didn't even hear him come in, and he says, just a minute. I believe you have sent someone over to me. I was at the Ward Hotel. You were looking for someone called the Procurer? And he sits down in his green three-piece suit.
You and your DM NPCs!
And he says, let's discuss business. And that's where we're cutting it tonight. Because he is everywhere! But
Mr. Green just walked in.
He is Mr. Green Christmas. He's Mr. Glow.
there we go.
He's Mr. Heat Blister. I can't remember the next line. Bye, everybody.
Yep. Thank you for watching, everyone. We hope you had a great time watching. We hope you enjoyed our little foray into the Fallout universe with this particular system. It's a little bit odd. Like I said, next time we may try and do something a little bit different. Maybe use World of Darkness or something along those lines. But we'll see. We'll see.
Get Alex to run Mutineers of Doom again.
I don't think he wants to... Yeah, we'll play in Mutant Heirs of Doom or something like that, because I don't think he wants to try and learn the Fallout universe and then try to fit Mutant Heirs of Doom into that. Though it might be an easy fit.
Justice returns. Justice will ride again.
Justice! Alright. Have a great day. God bless and enjoy. Bye.
Bye.
This content was made possible by the generous support of patrons and travelers like you. Thank you.